Yo, y'all already know who it is. I'm on asharenu. We back in this piece once again, and we checking in. It's around about what time is it? It's about midnight on the West Coast. But we back in here once again. I just want to take a couple minutes, to break down something that I think is, you know, important to understand, to comprehend when it comes to manifestation, right? I always get asked about manifestation, right? So let's talk about it, right? We're gonna allow people to come in. What's up, 47 o'clock light? What's up? I know I don't usually go live around this time, but we just checking in. I'm just checking in with my viewership. All around the world, right? What's up, Tech? What is it? Tech means. Hope means, or however you say your name. Greetings. However you say your name, bro. What's up? What's up? So again, we're gonna take a couple seconds, let everybody come in. So let me take a sip of the grape drink. Got some grape drink with me. What's up, Nisi Major? What's up, Nisi Major? Nisi Major is in the building. Give me 1 second. So you already know we got the grape drink. What's up, Makita? What's up, Makita from London? Makita from London's in the building. What's up? So I already know, we're gonna take a sip of the grape drink. We're gonna get into it. All right. So once again, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Salute to you. Now let's get into it. The title of this video is called Principles, Not Thoughts, Create Your Reality. What am I talking about? What is a principle? What is a thought? What is reality? Very important questions, because depending on how we define what is a principle, what is a thought, and what is reality will determine what you are able to perceive. What do I mean by that? Certain things are invisible to us if we have no knowledge of it, if we have no words for it. If you see something and you don't know what it is and you don't have a word for it, excuse me, like it doesn't really register in the brain because you really don't know how to define a thing without being able to identify it. Let's just say you see something, you've never seen it before. You don't know what to, like, yo, I don't know what that is. Like your mind kind of doesn't know how to react to it, right? What's up, Rob? Because you have no definition for what you are observing, right? No sound. Hold on. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? So yeah, let's not let's not continue to speak if people can't hear me. Can anybody hear me? Or am I just moving my mouth and it just seems like I'm talking? Rob can hear me. So I don't know what's up with you, Honoris. What's up with Honoris? Why can't you hear me? Brianna can hear me. What's up, Brianna? Brianna is in the house. You know what I mean? No sleep, right? What's up, what is it, Fahita? What up, Fahita? So people are saying they can hear me. So I don't. So it is the problem is on your end because if people can hear me, then it's not on my end. Yeah. See, everybody else can hear me. So whatever the issue is I don't even know how you even told me you can't hear me if you can't hear me. But so you probably can't hear me now either. So I don't even know if you can't hear me. I don't know. Now it's okay. Okay, cool. So if you can hear me, you can hear me. That's the most important thing. As long as everybody can hear what I'm saying. Okay. So let's get back to it. So as I was saying, if you don't have a word for something and you can't properly identify it, then it affects you differently. So it's one thing to say, let's just say, all right, you live with your family. So when you see people walking through that door, you know that that's your family walking through the door. But let somebody walk through that door and you don't know who that motherfucker is. it's going to affect you differently than somebody who walks through the door and you know who that is. Like, yo, who the fuck is that? You know what I mean? You have a different response because you don't have a word for that. Like, yo, I don't know who that person is, or I don't know what that thing is. So it affects you differently, right? So depending on how we define reality will determine what we are able to perceive. All things are possible. We know this. But all things are possible to those that can perceive the opportunities around them. If you can perceive the opportunities in your midst, you can perceive the opportunities on a worldwide scale, right? We may have people out here who's thinking a little bit too big when we should be thinking, if I can affect my atmosphere, I can affect the world. But before I affect the world on a large scale, I can start off on a smaller scale with my own atmosphere. I can affect my current atmosphere before I affect the world, right? Depending on how I perceive reality. So if somebody is viewing things like, I need to help the world, 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 but they haven't applied that same thing to their own atmosphere, then they will never reach the world. You have to reach yourself before you reach others. You have to embody principles before you manifest. Let me go further. What is a principle, right? A principle is a thought with a body. Just to keep it simple. It is a thought that has now taken some type of form, right? It is a thought that has taken form. That's what a principle is, right? So what I mean is this. It's not enough to think about something. You have to embody the idea of it in order for it to manifest. In other words, you have to embody the idea of a thing, of a thought. You have to give life to a thought, but not just life. You have to give it shape and form. So not only do you have to give your thoughts life, you also have to give your thoughts shape and form before they can manifest materially. How do you give your thoughts shape and form and give them life? Through principle. Once again, a principle is a thought form that has taken some type of shape and has life, that is active with you, where you don't really have to consciously think about it because it has been embedded within. In other words, let me give you a live example. Now, let's just say a person is trying to manifest love. They want to have more love in their life. But we need to ask ourselves, do we embody the principle of love, which is different than the thought of love? Hopefully y'all can resonate with what I'm trying to convey. It's not enough to say, I want this, or I want that, or I want this over here, or I want this over here. You cannot receive without giving first. What is it that you are giving before you receive? Not just thoughts, but you are giving life to these thoughts and giving them shape and form to the point where it's like creating deities. It's like creating entities, right? You are giving these principles life and form in real time. So they move with you. It's like you are essentially creating a deity. You are essentially creating a spirit that we call principles. You can say that's the equivalent to creating the spirit. That spirit embodies that idea that you have programmed into it, which becomes a principle, as we call it, right? But spiritually, I'm just putting it into spiritual terms so that we can understand it. You are creating entities when you embody principles, not just thoughts. You can think about anything, but you don't embody everything that you think. right? Everything you think doesn't become a principle, right? But that is normally the things that take on form in a life of their own and reflect back to you in the form of materialization, the crystallization of a thought. Because what is manifestation? Is the crystallization or the materialization of a thought that we know now has been given life and form, right? Principle. So you can say materialization or manifestation is principles that have been given life and have created a form, right? Just like a living entity. The principle is a living entity that you have given life. That living entity therefore works for you on your behalf on the other side, which allows them. The principle is what receives the blessings, not the thought. It is the principle that receives, not the thought. Because the thought essentially has no life or form. The thought has no life or form. The principle has life and form. And it is the principle that in time will crystallize in your reality. Your principles crystallize in your reality. Let me give you a better example, right? This is the difference between being honorable and deceptive, right? So a person who is honorable speaks truth regardless of whom or what. They can stand on their truth and they don't have to tell lies. Somebody who is deceptive gets through life telling lies. However, when we look at these two individuals' realities, we see that there is a vast difference. Why? Because they embody different principles. Because they embody different principles, it dictates what you are able to perceive. For example, so for someone who, again, is honorable, they stand on the truth, their reality is going to reflect that. Their reality is going to reflect truth because that's the principle that they embody. And that principle crystallizes into something material or many things material in terms of the people you attract, the things that you are attracted to, and the places that you go. All that is based on your principles, not necessarily the thoughts. We think so many thoughts a day that we don't even remember. Do you remember what you was thinking about at 8 in the morning? You know what I mean? Can you map out every single thing that you was thinking about? Most likely not, because our mind goes faster than that. However, to embody a principle, to give life and form to a thought, so that it can crystallize into something grand, it's the true process. So we're going beyond thinking positive. We're going beyond thoughts themselves. Now we are giving life to these thoughts because thoughts in and of itself is just substance. All thoughts that you think do not materialize, right? As we all know, all thoughts don't materialize. But everything that has materialized has a counter or alter ego that exists in a higher dimension. That's why it is called a blessing. Everything that exists physically has another form on the astral plane. So thoughts exist in the astrals before they take on physical form. In other words, principles, before they crystallize and descend to third dimensional density, they exist in 4D in the form of principles, not just random thoughts. They exist in 4D in the form of principles. And as they continue to gain more weight, more life, and more form, they get heavier and heavier and heavier. These particles are getting heavier and heavier and heavier. Crystallization, the process of crystallization, it is becoming material in time. So by the time it materializes fully, it will reflect your principle, not your thought, your principles. The principles that you embody is being reflected, not just your thoughts. You can think anything, but the thing that you embody is the thing that you have to live with. You have to live with the principles that you embody. Why? Because that affects your whole life. The people that you want to be around is determined by your principles. The people that you don't want to be around is embodied by your principles. The things that you want to do with your day is based on your principles, right? How far you want to go in life is based on your principles, not just your thoughts. The thoughts that have life and that have been given form, the things that you think about consistently, the things that you think about passionately, the things that just makes you light up when a thought comes to you. It just lights you up, and just thinking about the various possibilities of the materialization of these principles is enough to put you in a blissful state of mind. You can just think about the principles and they put you in a blissful state of mind. You can just think about how honorable you was when it came to particular relationships and friendships that lasted over time. Like, Dan, I've been cool with this person 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Why? Because they've been honorable and I've been honorable. So the relationship is a manifestation or a crystallization of honor. You embody honor, so therefore you draw to you honorable people, which will continue to be in your life for a long period of time. Honorability lasts. Deception does not, because once a person realizes they are being deceived, then they don't want to be around you anymore, right? Oh, this person is lying to me. I don't want to be around them anymore. However, this person has been honorable. I want to keep them as close as possible because they represent the real, somebody who represents principles, not just a person with scattered thoughts, trying to manifest and materialize things that they don't even embody themselves. Trying to crystallize things that you don't embody. You materialize the things that you embody, not the things you think, the things that you embody, not the thoughts you think, the thoughts that you embody. Those are the ones that crystallize and materialize, and you can see it reflected in your perception, right? Hopefully this is getting through to everybody. All right. So what's up, Hussein? What's up, King Marshall? You know, what's up, Derpy? What's up, Profoundly Dignified? You know, I appreciate everybody tuning in once again. So you already know, I just wanted to, this doesn't need to take an hour, we just checking in real fast. I just wanted to let it be known that it's time to take shit to the next level. That's all. I'm letting it be known that from this point on, it's not about what you think. It's about what you embody. And what you embody, that's what crystallizes and will be reflected, right? If you embody certain principles, those situations will materialize. So, for example, a person with no principles is susceptible to all types of deception because they have no foundation to stand upon. Your foundation is your honorability, your integrity, right? Your ability to stand up against opposition. That's what makes you who you are, right? Can you be honorable in the midst of opposition? What do I mean? How do you be honorable in the face of opposition? If somebody is, you can say, doing you dirty, you don't do them dirty back. On that eye for an eye mentality. Somebody does something dirty to you, you don't do it back. You separate because you have principles. And your principles will not allow you to do dirty shit. Especially when you're trying to be cleansed and detox from all the madness. So a person can do something horrible. You're not going to do it back. If you embody certain principles, you separate yourself to make sure that it doesn't happen again. You don't sink down to their level to try to outspark them. Oh, we about to go to war now. Oh, you doing this, you doing that. You don't even give that type of energy your time to try to come on somebody else's level because they have no principle. You separate yourself from those without principle because that's the people who bring you down because they're just doing anything, right? They're just having thoughts. They just think. They don't embody the thoughts. They don't give those thoughts life and they don't give them shape or form. And what they do give life and shape or form can change on a daily basis. We seek to embody principles that don't change day to day. Things that don't change, things that will remain with you, your character. Because many people just don't talk about this stuff, right? When it comes to materialization, like, yo, what does any of this have to do with manifestation? Because even me, I speak a lot about what to go beyond moralism, go beyond right or wrong, right? But that doesn't mean you become a fucking savage. Let's just make that clear. Going beyond moralism and going beyond good and bad that is not an excuse to be a fucking savage and to do whatever the fuck you want. Instead, when it is spoken about you are going beyond the societal norms, that does not mean that you have to sacrifice your character or your integrity or your honorability, but they have to already be within you, right? So just, I don't want any confusion. We are not here to create savages. We are here to create divine beings that already exist within. You're just trying to bring it out. You're just trying to bring it out. But how do you bring it out? Honorability, integrity, character. And that ain't it. I'm just naming examples, right? It's just examples. But just letting it be known that thoughts are not enough. It's not enough to think. It's not enough to meditate. You have to embody these principles. You have to embody it. You can't switch up. There is no switching up. One day you're doing this, the next day you're doing this. You cannot switch up. You must remain solid. How do you remain solid? Embodying principles that do not change. It don't change when you're 20. It don't change when you're 50. It don't change when you're 70. You maintain these principles. They don't come and go like thoughts. Understand, principles do not come and go like thoughts. Thoughts come and go on a day-to-day basis. Your principles remain solid regardless of time and space and what's going on. And you never have to compromise. Now, yes, do some people compromise their integrity? Yes. Do some people compromise their principles? Yes. But that does not mean that you should be doing that. That does not mean that you have to sacrifice your principles to achieve or gain anything, especially if it's materialistic. There is no need to sacrifice integrity, character, principle to receive material. Something that will change in time. Something that will be irrelevant probably in a couple years. But your principles remain the same throughout 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. That doesn't change. They remain solid. In those years, you're going to get new clothes. You're going to, switch out between cars, homes, cities, states. May have more kids, new relationships. It's a lot that happen, that changes in your life within that, within that time span. But what does not change are your principles. Those don't change over time. Those remain the same. Those are those unseen laws that you have created for yourself. So yes, we have a choice in embodying principles or not. But it would be to our absolute benefit to go beyond thoughts and give these thoughts life and form and make them principles. Crystallize your principles as opposed to things that just come and go, come and go, come and go, come and go, come and go. Right? Create entities that embody these principles so that they can be aids for you on the spiritual side. You can create spiritual aids, spiritual allies that embody certain principles. All right, I'm going to create 6 deities. You're going to embody this principle. You're going to embody that. You're going to embody that. And I want you guys to roll with me at all times to make sure that I embody these. And if ever I'm not on my square, y'all let me know. That is very possible to do. Read the book, Creating Magical Entities. It's a whole book on this science, right? So I'm just taking it a step further. So I'm giving you the magical aspect as well as, the scientific aspect of these things, right? All right, let's see. Um, so the more focus and energy you put into certain goals will crystallize it into experience. It's not necessarily the focus and the energy. It's more so about you have to really desire this. So no, it's not just about, okay, it's not about a technique. So let me make this clear. This is not about a technique. Okay, so I needed to switch my technique up. No. It's not about just, okay, I need to perfect my technique. Okay, let me put a little bit more energy in it. No, it's not like that. It's not like that at all. You have to really desire to do this. This is not just another technique. You have to really passionately want to embody these principles without question, right? It has to be in you, and you are seeking to materialize it. The principles have to already be within you, and if they are not within you, you seek to place them within you, to embody them, to place them within. You are placing the principles within, right? So again, this is going beyond the technique. You have to truly desire this. If you truly want to seek results and to get results, the difference between being honorable and being dishonorable, the difference between being deceitful and being honest, standing on truth, the difference between you have to lie to get what you want versus you get what you receive everything because you embody truth. See, people don't understand this. People, we're just in this time where everybody is just out here just for the bag. Chase the bag, chase the bag, chase the bag by any means necessary. We hear this shit all the fucking time. By any means necessary, by any means necessary, by any means necessary. Let's get the bag, get the cash, secure the bag, secure the bag, secure the bag. Where's the principles at? Right? Where's the honorability? We don't hear nothing about that, right? It's never even mentioned. Just get it by any means. Fuck whoever you gotta hurt. Fuck who don't like you. Just by any means. Fuck that honor. So we are in the times where this is irrelevant, right? But I'm letting you know that the relevance in having principles will enhance every aspect of your life, guaranteed. So we are moving beyond thoughts to principles that are embodied in given life. And those are the things that materialize. Why? Because we are passionate about what we are and the type of aura that we present to others, our vibes. We take these things very seriously, and we do not take these things for granted. We don't take honorability for granted. We don't take integrity for granted. We are very passionate and serious about remaining firm and solid through all opposition. That is not something that we turn on and turn off. We are passionate about remaining solid through all opposition. We embody that life principle. Not no fucking by any means I'm going to get it. No, I have to navigate within certain parameters to receive my blessing. Difference. It's not about get the bag. It's about can you receive the blessings that you now embody. All right? This is the type of shit that matters, for people who take life seriously. Who do you want next to you? Somebody who's honorable or somebody who's dishonorable? Easy question, easy answer, right? You want somebody who's honorable. But in order for somebody to stand next to you who's honorable, you have to be it as well. Instead of looking for it on the outside, you have to embody honorability before it crystallizes in your life. We have to embody these things. It's not just given to us. We receive blessings based on our principles. Many people don't know shit about receiving nothing because they ain't receiving nothing because they don't embody shit. So you can't receive nothing that you don't embody. So you got to go chase it. You got to go find it. You got to get it. You got to, you got to do. You got to do all this crazy shit to receive some bullshit. A little check, a little bag that's going to be gone. Compromising who and what you are as a person for a bag that's only spent up. You sacrifice your principles for a bag, and you're not gonna be able to get that shit back. That bag, when that bag is gone, now you try to come back and be honorable. It don't work like that. People ain't gonna want to fuck with you. Like, yo, this motherfucker switched up for a bag. Once that bag is gone, who the fuck you got to come back amongst these same motherfuckers? But at that time, they don't accept you because you have lost your sense of self. Therefore, you lose out. However, if you secured your honorability, you made that your focus versus securing the bag. Securing your honorability, that helps to surround yourself with not only people, but spirits that are aligned with the thought that you have given life and form and have embodied and have created the principle. Now everything around you reflects the principle versus just the random thoughts that's just running and navigating around our mind, right? So there we go. Crown chakra to the root, exactly, from the crown down. From the crown down. Crown down, crown down, crown down. Right? No, we're gonna always have a live chat, raw light. The only time that I will ever like disable the chat, I don't know when I would ever, you know what I mean? I don't think I would ever disable the chat, so you ain't gotta worry about that. You know, everybody is free to express themselves as they please, as long as everybody is respectful, of course. You know, we have to have respect for each other, right? Of course, I didn't even say that right. I'm talking about honor, but respect is just as important as well, right? We already know. Gotta not let people fuck with your energy state because that's what manifests the nature of your experience. We taking it before that, right? Before people start fucking with your energy has to be correct. Most people that their energy gets fucked up because their energy wasn't solid before they walked out the house in the first place, right? So that's what I mean. Before we even talk about other people, you have to embody it. But if you stepped out the house without embodying that, then of course it's easy to fuck with people's energy and to throw you off, right? Because you ain't solid. It's hard to do it when you're solid. It's hard for people to distract you when you're solid. It's easy when you're not. It's easy when you don't embody principles. It's easy for you to get thrown off track. It's hard for you to walk the straight and narrow path. So before we even talk about people, you have to embody the principles first and foremost. And that will determine the type of people that surround you anyway, but it starts and ends with self. Always. It always starts and ends with self. I know it's still, you know, we can hear this 100 times, but it still may not fully, you know, be, a lot of people still have a hard time grasping this. Even, you know, because it's a complete lifestyle difference, right? But you know, however long it takes is however long it takes. What's up, Dizzy? You definitely know your principles, absolutely. Let me see. Get the bag by any of your principles only. See, if people understood that, if they understood that, get the bag, but stay honorable, they would actually receive more, right? Instead of having to become a savage every time you want some fucking cash, right? You would actually receive a lot more embodying those principles. I guarantee it. And I challenge anybody to apply this information and to see for yourself, right? See for yourself what embodying principles does for you versus just trying to materialize random thoughts that won't even be relevant in 3 to 5 years. I guarantee you, just ask yourself, all the stuff that we ask for, is that shit even going to be relevant in 3 to 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? It's not even going to be relevant. So people are thinking so short term that long-term thinking is like ancient. So I'm just encouraging everybody to think a little bit further. That's what it is. I'm just encouraging everybody to think a little further into life. Because when you embody principles, that still matters. Even if you're on your deathbed, that still matters. Because when people say, what type of person was this motherfucker? Honorable, had integrity, was respectful, right? So on and so on and so on. Because you embodied that versus who was this person? Nobody, you don't even have people around you to even speak on your behalf. You know, if you don't embody those principles, right? You won't even have nobody. Nobody would even be around. You would die and they had to fucking find somewhere to bury your ass because ain't nobody gonna pay for shit. Who the fuck wants to pay to bury a motherfucker with no principles, right? Who ain't never helped nobody with their life. Who ain't never put nobody on the game. Who kept all the game for themselves. Who ain't never helped nobody financially, right? Who the fuck wants to go, you know, it just don't work like that. You receive what you give. So when you give out blessings, you receive them. But if you a person that's, you know, that got too much hate in your heart for whatever fucking reason, you can't receive anything because you have shut yourself down. Hate has taken the place of love. Therefore, you can't give it. You become closed. Therefore, you don't receive any blessings. You have to become a savage at that point, because there's no other way to survive when hate has consumed you. When hate has consumed you, you have to be a savage because it feels natural. But you don't have to allow yourself to get to that level because it's like a never-ending, you know, hamster wheel, as they call it, right? It's like you don't get anywhere. Because who the fuck wants to be around somebody who's like that? Now it's different if they don't know, but those who know, it's like you know, nobody wants to be around someone without principles because they can't assist you in anything in life. How can they assist you? Somebody who even wants to assist you has to embody the principle of each one teach one. That's a principle. Each one teach one. If you don't embody that, you don't care to teach anybody anything. You don't care to share your wisdom with anybody. You would utilize it for yourself. Oh, it's about me. As long as my rent paid, as long as my kids fed, I'm good. Nothing wrong with that. But the world is bigger than just the people within your household. You gotta deal with people on a daily basis. So the people that you deal with, you know, don't deserve respect, or you don't deserve to be honorable in all your business dealings, or just your dealings between people in general. To the point where people don't even want to invite you in their home because they think that you're a certain way. Versus, like, you may even be a fucking drug dealer, but if you have some type of honor, then people will still embrace you, guaranteed. Even if it's only fellow drug dealers. You being honorable makes you a desirable person. Let's just be real. It is an honorability that transcends your morality. So let me make that clear if you don't understand nothing else in this video. It is your honorability that transcends your morality. That's why I use the example of the drug dealer, who you could say morally is not there. But in terms of honorability, that's present because they understand that. You know, that's just manhood 101, right? You just have to be respectful, got to be honorable. You got to be fair in your business dealings. And if you're not, then that affects you forever. People don't forget who has done them wrong. And people remember who held them down when they had nothing. So when that person rises to the top, they would not mind helping you to rise just as high because they don't have hate in their heart because you fucking helped them. You may have took them under your wing or just, you know, opened yourself up. And therefore you receive the blessings that is owed to you because you earned them. You earned the blessings that you received because you gave out. You know, honorability, integrity, character, respect. So you get those same things back. Versus, again, just the way we have spirituality nowadays is not rooted in anything. People just want material items. How do I get this? How do I get this? How do I get this? Not understanding that the principles are more important than the fucking material items. Fuck material items. Embody those principles. Instead of thinking about the goddamn purse, the goddamn car, the goddamn home, or whatever the fuck people want nowadays, right? Fuck all that shit. Do you embody these principles? Because if you don't embody these principles, none of that shit matters. Who the fuck cares what you drive when you are a deceptive motherfucker and can't be trusted? Who the fuck cares how the fuck you rolling? Because your spirit is not in alignment. So it's like, once people come to the awareness of who and what you are without principle, then it's like that, all you gave up your principles to have material items that at the end of the day didn't matter at all. So that's the cold part of the game. That's what people don't, because they don't think long term, they don't see. They are not able to see, like, yo, all this bullshit that I'm doing now is going to affect me later. But motherfuckers are just in the now, in the now, in the now. There's nothing wrong with being in the now. But you at least have to have some type of foresight, like, yo, maybe I should not be deceptive, because that shit may come back and bite me in my ass. I will have to reap what I sow. Not what nobody else did, what I did. I gotta reap what I did. Right? So if I brought that fucked up energy into a situation because I didn't embody principles, I'm just thinking about the bag. I'm just thinking about, I need to be fly. Not thinking about what it takes to earn these things. It's a difference, right? People were obsessed and possessed by material items, so much so that they're willing to give up their principles. And that type of person should not be nowhere near your cipher. Exterminate the fucking rats. Please. Because I guarantee it's holding us back. Right? We're going to take a sip of the grape drink. Right? We're going to take a sip. Right, so let's get out of fantasy land, right? Or you can just do whatever the fuck you want. Embody these principles and live amongst law and order. Trust me, so it's a way better experience. Because all these lawless motherfuckers without principles and not morals, but principles and character and integrity, they don't have that. These people may be successful. See, this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying this like, oh, this is the only way to be successful. This is the only way to be, to be something of substance. No, there's many dirty motherfuckers in high positions. A lot of them are. Majority of them are, if we want to keep it 100. Does not mean that that's what you're supposed to be doing because you see other people doing it and becoming successful at it. It's not your lane. It's not your path. Because if you get caught doing what they do and you know better, you will be extremely punished. I guarantee you. If you know better and you don't apply that, you will be extremely punished versus somebody who never knew. But we all know better, right? Or you should know better. And if you didn't know, you know now. So leave all that materialistic shit to the birds. Embody these principles and watch you receive all the things that you could have possibly imagined. You can receive all these things embodying principle versus just random thoughts that will not matter in the long run. All right? Yeah, I feel you, Derpy. You feel lucky to be able to chat in here. It's definitely an honor. It's the feeling is mutual. I'm honored to be amongst like-minded people who understand or who's seeking to understand at least, even if you don't get it. So, what's up, King? You have a million questions, but when the time comes, you forget what you was thinking. Just write it down, man. Just write it down, What's up, Annie Zig? Zag, sorry. Andy Zag. What's up, the Prime Ascension? Let me see. This video played by itself when I open YouTube up. That's divine because I never heard this before, but I know it's real. I've been in a labyrinth long enough, exactly. It's real shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, when we speak, we always gonna speak the real. We gonna always speak the real because it ain't nothing. There's no other. It ain't gonna ever be a lie. So we have no choice. I am bound by law to speak truth. That is, you know what I mean? That is, I'm bound to speak truth because if I try to journey outside of truth, I know that I will be brutally punished because I fucking know better. So I don't really have the option. Like, yo, I don't have the opportunity to do what everybody else does in terms of being dishonorable and seeing, not embodying those principles. I don't have that choice because I will be severely punished because I know better. So when you know better, you get extra punishment because you know better. It's like, yo, what was the point of you even knowing better if you're doing the same shit everybody else does who don't know better? Because for the ones who don't know better, you're supposed to help them learn if they are receptive to wisdom. Like, yo, this may not be the way you need to go. Let me show you the right way. Not to say like, yo, you got to do what you got to do in the streets, right? So again, this is not about what you should or shouldn't be doing. It's the principles that you embody. But based on the principles you embody, you may want to switch up what you're doing. It may lead you to do things differently or do things more efficiently, do things more effectively, right? All that comes from embodying principles, right? Thoughts on Zahi Hawass? I have no idea who that is, Derpy. I believe he is hiding knowledge. I don't even know who that is. I have no idea. What's up, Phoenix Rising? Was it Bud Chaka? Bud Chaka? Or Bun Chaka? Bun Chaka? Let me see. Treat others as you wish to be treated. Absolutely. This is real. Absolutely. The golden rule had nothing to do with what I thought it did. Absolutely. You know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. It's always deeper than meets the eye. It's always mysteries to be discovered. Motherfuckers been talking about thoughts become things for 100 years now. That thoughts become things came out like 100 years ago. Now we can elaborate upon that. What did they truly mean when they said that 100 years ago? We don't need to repeat what was being said 100 years ago. We can now elaborate on what was meant by what was said. So we don't have to say the same things they said. We can elaborate on them further. What did they mean when they said that? How can we take it a step further? How can we push the envelope while still remaining solid, still remaining true to the principles, but continue forward? All right, so there we go. Excuse me. I understand what you mean, but I've been honorable and have had principles and still tend to attract deceptive and abusive people into my life. See, this is what I mean. This doesn't stop challenge from coming into your life. Those people are there as a test for you. Look at it as a test. If you want to truly embody these principles, even if you attract these people, you will be able to identify like, yo, they ain't right, and keep it moving. So no, it doesn't, because deceptive people are just looking for victims and just looking for prey. So they may come up to you, trying to, manipulate you out of your money or whatever. So it doesn't stop you from necessarily being amongst the wolves. You will still be amongst the wolves. It's the same thing with the streets. You're gonna still be amongst wolves. Even if you don't embody those principles, you are still amongst the savages. However, you don't get caught up in the madness of the savages. That's the difference. That's the difference. And when I mean savage, I just mean ignorant, somebody who is ignorant to the knowledge of themselves. So they have become a savage because they truly have no idea how to be a divine being. So they became a savage because they just don't know any better. So it is, that's why I'm not really speaking about them. I'm not speaking about the people who just don't fucking know better. I'm talking about the people that do know better. Right? So even if you embody these principles, it doesn't stop challenge. It doesn't stop you from going through things in life. It just makes you wiser so that you can stop it before it happens. Before things get bad, you can peep it out and remove yourself so that you don't receive that bullshit, right? That's why you embody those principles. And even if people are doing shit to you, you embody those principles so that you don't get caught up in their vortex and start doing the same shit to them. That's why you embody the principles, not to stop them, not to change them, but to change yourself and separate yourself and be able to detect it when you see it. So even if you see it, you can detect it and discern it and remove yourself if necessary, and don't have to deal with everything that comes with that, being around somebody who's just unstable, right? Who's just trying to get in how they fit in type shit, right? They have to have a sense of self. All right, Curtis said, wait, I must have missed what you said because Curtis just said move to Atlanta. Are you telling me to move to Atlanta, or are you talking about you move to Atlanta? So I'm not sure what context you mean that in, Curtis. That's why they say ignorance is bliss. Because if you know, you know. Absolutely, ignorance is truly bliss. Just look at a child who knows nothing. They in total bliss, right? Don't know nothing. But as they get older, life becomes a lot more complex. Like, oh, I can't just do any fucking thing now. I need to embody these principles to preserve my life and my well-being. A child doesn't understand that. Yes, that's why they have to be watched over. You have to watch over children because they don't understand that. But once a person understands that and embody those principles, you don't have to watch over them no more because they can watch themselves. They can stand on their own 2 feet now because they know better. That's a duty of a father. That's a duty of a mother. That's a duty of a big brother, a big sister, a big homie. You know what I mean? An OG. It's to guide you properly because you done already been through the fire. So you know where the road goes because you done already been there. You know better. Like, yo, I done been to the dark. So when I see you going to the dark, like, I know where you're going. I've been there. I know all about that. Ask me any question about the dark, I can tell you. So I already know. So I'm going to advise you to embody more solid principles so that you don't have to experience that because it's like, yo, that's why I experienced it so that you don't. I took the fall so that you can rise up, the ultimate sacrifice, right? I take the fall. Well, I guess this is the fall. I take the fall so that you can rise. That's what any big homie does, right? Any big brother, I take the fall so that you don't. Right? If you are the elder in your family, you are the older brother, the older sister, you have to go through everything first. You got to go through everything first. No, you got to be the first one out the door, the first one out the house, the first one doing this, the first one doing that. You got to be the one to embody those principles and bring it back to your siblings if they are receptive to the wisdom, right? Of course, you can't force anybody to listen to you if they don't want to listen, but those who are open to you, those who can take, counsel with you, those are the ones that you speak to and keep it real with. You got to always keep it real. You know what I mean? Fuck this fairy tale shit, right? But no disrespect to the fairies, but, fuck this fantasy shit. You know what I mean? We have to be in reality. What's up, Jan the Nymph? The Nymph? What's the deal? Yeah, material things definitely should not drive you anyway. Raw light, material things definitely should not drive you. They're nice to have. They're great to have, but just keep your priorities in check. Your priorities, your principles come first, then the material shit. So that's all. I'm not saying don't have all supply shit and nice shit. Have all that. You should strive to, but just keep your principles first. Keep your integrity first. Keep your character. Keep your respect first, and receive the blessings. Versus none of that shit matters, and you're trying to do all this material stuff, right? And gain these material goods. Get it. Anything material, you deserve to have, right? So I'm not trying to talk anybody out of neglecting the material. You should be fly as much as you want, but embody those principles first. And that flyness becomes divine. That's the difference. You embody those principles, you're not just fly now, you are fly in divine. That's the difference. All right. Exactly. Remember how people used to say it's the principle of the matter of the time? It makes it makes sense more and more. Exactly. Wisdom does not get old. You can say that was an old saying people been saying forever, right? It still holds true today. That's what I'm talking about. That's how far you need to think into the future. Think into the future 50 years. What's going to still be relevant in 50 years? The iPhone? Probably not. The Android? Probably not. All the fly shit in today's times? Most likely not. But wisdom still matters. Character still matters. Respect still matters. Those things still matter. Once those material things, move along, So we focus on the things that remain, not the things that dissolve over time. Your principles don't dissolve over time. They actually strengthen over time. But everything else, material things come and go, come and go, come and go, come and go. Material things come and go, but your principles remain the same. Well, they should remain the same and strengthen you and not weaken you. It keeps you strong. It keeps you solid. It keeps you on your own 2 feet. All right? All right. What's up, trust self? I'm fighting between my principles and other people's on a daily basis, trying to not get overridden. It is a total mind fatigue. Now, I'm assuming you live amongst family, because I would say that would be like the only reason that someone else's principles will conflict with yours. So most likely it's family that you're speaking about. So in that case, living amongst family it's just a matter of respect, right? It's just a matter of respect. Again, you just let your family do them. Your family is gonna do what your family is gonna do, whether they listen to you or not. Your family is gonna do what they're gonna do, but you must remain solid, even if it makes somebody mad, even if it causes an argument. I will remain solid. Why? Because after that argument, they will leave you alone. When they realize how serious you are about your principles, and they will not bother you about it because they see like, yo, this motherfucker is willing to not budge, right? They're willing to actually not budge. Like, yo, I'm not going anywhere. I don't give a fuck what anybody say. I am solid on my principles. Ain't nobody gonna change shit without me giving the clearance. All right. So that's what it is. Respect family, but make sure they respect you as well. All right. Talk about synchronicity. Eldest here, kind of in a mess, in the middle of shifting myself to a better gear. Yeah, you already know. Yeah, if you are the eldest, you must work the hardest. See, it is a blessing to be to be a elder, to be the eldest amongst those who are looking at you become divine. It is truly a beautiful thing to observe, someone coming into their self, right? It is truly a beautiful thing. Right? So you don't even gotta say like, yo, I'm kinda in a mess. You ain't in no fucking mess. Life, you're going through life. Everybody goes through life. But anything that you got yourself out into, you can get yourself out of. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of perception. You know what I mean? So anything you got yourself into, you can get yourself out of. You know what I mean? So you ain't even gotta think too heavy into it, but because you're gonna always be a beacon of light to those who are coming up after you. Even if you fuck up, there are elders who go to jail and come home, and their siblings still honor them, still respect them, because they stayed firm and solid on their principles. They didn't change. So that's how people who go to jail, they can come home and everything still be intact because they didn't budge. But they went to jail and told on every fucking body. They don't have shit to come to. That's the difference. You remove your principles out of the equation, you don't have nothing to come to. You keep your principles solid, you can still fuck with everybody you was fucking with. So you can, you know what I mean? Like nothing will change in terms of the things that you can do and the things that you can accomplish, whether the people are there or not. So you know what I mean? There we go. Um, I feel like most people aren't receptive to wisdom anymore. It kind of makes it hard to have a genuine conversation. Well, it's always been like that, bro. 85% of the population is not going to understand. 10% of the population are the people who are being deceptive, and 5% of the population are the honorable ones. That's just how it's always been and how it always will be. So you seek the 5%, seek the 5%, seek those who are receptive to wisdom, and fuck those who are not. If they don't want to listen, then don't listen. It is what it is. Don't concern yourself. Don't allow that to fuck your energy up. See, a lot of people like, damn, people are so negative. It's fucking my energy up. Fuck the negativity. Focus on that 5%. Focus on the ones who are receptive. You may only have one person that is receptive to you, surrounded amongst thousands of people. You may only have one person who will give you the time of day, who will really receive what you have to give. That's all you fucking need. That's all you fucking need. See, so many people are caught up with numbers. So you're not doing any numbers. Fuck the numbers. It's all about the genuine connection. And if it's only between one person, what do you truly need? Especially if it's the opposite sex. Somebody you can build something with. It's just you and your girl, or your girl and your you know, if you're a woman, you and your man. You don't need nothing else. God damn it. All you need is you and your girl. You know, the girl and her man. They don't need nobody else. Everybody else can fucking kick rocks, right? It's y'all against the world, right? Those who are receptive to the wisdom, it's y'all against the world. But it ain't really y'all against the world, because they're not really your opposition. They're not really your enemy. But they are an interference. And it strengthens you to be able to remain solid when you observe those who, you know, are all over the place, right? There we go. So stay solid. Stay solid, you know. All right. So we're going to get up out of here. You know, so unless anybody has any questions, we're going to check out. You know, let me see. What is my battery looking like? Hold on. Cause I may go live again. Maybe in like half an hour. I may go live again. So it'll be like 2 in the morning. I may go live a fucking again. Like the shit never stops, right? Shit never stops. Sometimes I be feeling like I'm possessed. You know? But that's just me. But this knowledge, this wisdom will never stop, you know what I mean? Because I embody it. So if you don't have an example, look at me. I embody the wisdom. How the fuck am I putting out wisdom every goddamn day, right? If I didn't embody that principle, I couldn't do what I do. I couldn't share anything because I don't have anything to share. But the fact that I have wisdom to share because I embody this, so I can do this consistently. And it's no effort. It's no effort. Do I look strained talking in front of the camera? Like, this is just what it is. This is life to me. This is life, right? So I usually play dumber than I seem to people with that mindset. There's no need to. You can be yourself. You ever thought about that? You can be yourself. Instead of dumbing yourself down, why do you feel the need to dumb yourself down amongst people that are ignorant? When you should be the beacon of light. You see how that go? You're supposed to be the beacon of light, but you're dumbing yourself down. You know? But you gotta be a solid motherfucker to be that beacon of light. It's not the easiest job in the world, trust me. It's probably the hardest job in the world. But trust me, try being yourself instead of dumbing yourself down. You may have a better experience. Not to say that people want to listen to you if they don't want to, but you would be more contained within yourself to not give a fuck. You know, you would be more contained within yourself to not give a fuck. So there we go, you know. Just we're just giving out some inspiration and some motivation, right? So yeah, you can definitely apply this to anything. This goes way beyond manifestation and crystallization and all the things spiritual. This can definitely be applied to all things. So salute to everybody. Y'all stay highly elevated. And even if you choose to descend into the hellish realms, just make sure you make it back. Don't get lost in the dark. Always be a beacon of light, right? So y'all either gonna see me, y'all gonna see me unless I just get super tired and I just faint. But I'll be back. I'll be back in like a half an hour. You know, I'm possessed. So I'm gonna keep spitting it. As long as this is within me, I will keep sharing the information. Right. So stay tuned. Y'all have a good night. Sweet dreams, right? Dream well. For my dreamers out there, hopefully you are fucking dreaming. But I'm gonna read, you know what I mean? I'm gonna keep punching motherfuckers in the chest until y'all get this shit. Dream, 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 dream. I'm gonna drive y'all crazy with this shit, you know what I mean? So we out.